Hello and welcome back to the channel. Well, another month has gone by, so it's time for my Q&A video, and I want to thank everyone for the great questions. I've got a lot of questions today too, so I really appreciate that. And I'm just going to kick it off here with the first question, which again, I printed these out. Great Q&A video. Here's a question for you. What movie made identically with the same actors, remember this is a question, so it does not matter if the actors have passed away, do you think would have been better made now compared to when it was made? And this is a great question, but I do have to say that I prefer movies the way they were originally made. I don't think I was really thinking about this question quite a bit, and I can't think of a movie in particular that I would like to be remade even if the same actors were alive. And I'll give you an example. One of the movies that I really like is this version of War of the Worlds, which happens to be a Criterion release of an older movie from 1953. And there's the back of that one, and this is spy number 1037. And I really love this movie, and I think even if the actors were still alive today, I don't think I would want it to be remade with new special effects as an example, because I think there's a certain charm to the way the movie was originally made. In fact, there's some supplements on here about how the special effects were done at that time. So this is one movie that I, even if, as much as I love the movie, I would not want it to be remade with new special effects. And if I do, or if I was interested in new special effects, I've got this version of War of the Worlds, which was from Steven Spielberg starring Tom Cruise, among others. And I have this version, and this has updated special effects, the same type of story. So I don't feel like I really need to go back to an older film, let's say, and have it be updated. That's a great question, and it's certainly something I thought about quite a bit, but for the life of me, I really could not think of a movie that I would want to see redone in any way, because I like the charm of the way it was originally made. Great question. The next question comes from Mr. Ryland04. I hope you enjoy Short Term 12 if you had a chance to watch it, which I haven't had a chance to watch the movie yet. My question for this month is, do you miss Blockbuster as much as I do? And the answer to that is yes, absolutely. I have so many fond memories of when I went to Blockbuster, and just, usually on a Friday or Saturday night, and many times my Blockbuster at the time was very crowded. So it was a very social event to go pick out a movie and bring something home to watch. So I do miss it. There's a great documentary, if you haven't seen it, on Netflix called The Last Blockbuster, and I believe the last Blockbuster is in Oregon, and so and they've converted part of it, I think, or you can stay overnight at it, I believe, as well as go in and have that original experience of being in a Blockbuster. So I think now with so many options and streaming services and the opportunity to get physical media, the video store is pretty much gone, at this point, which is kind of a shame. I do miss it. I do miss the social aspects of it, and that is a great question. The next question, or series of questions, comes from Kikoa Silva. Hopefully I got that right. My favorite, Edward Yang. My personal favorite is A Bright Summer Day, and is my favorite film of all time. I've heard A Bright Summer Day is very good, but I have not had a chance to study the films of Edward Yang, but that is on my list to watch for sure. The next part, this is kind of a series of questions here, but thoughts on the impact of 50s Japanese cinema and your favorites from that era, especially Kurosawa, Ozu, Mizoguchi, who I need to watch more of. This is from the comment here. I am a fan of Japanese cinema, including Kurosawa and Ozu are some of my favorites. I don't know their entire filmography, but it is an area that I'm very interested in and a big fan of, and would like to study more for sure. Are you planning on getting the World of Wong Kar-wai box set, or are there any Criterions you're looking forward to? There's quite a few Criterions I am looking forward to. Fast Times at Ridgemont High comes to mind, but as the new releases come out, I'm trying to pick up as many as I can. I have the Wong Kar-wai set on my list. I have not picked it up yet, but perhaps during the 50% off sale, which I'm hoping will happen over the summer with Barnes & Noble, I might pick it up during that. My favorite Wong Kar-wai movie, I would have to say at this point, would be Chungking Express. I am watching a few of these films on the Criterion channel since I have a subscription to that. Great questions, a lot of questions in that area, but thanks so much for the amazing questions there. The next one comes from Kubrick Lover 1972. I know that he watches a lot of my videos, and I really appreciate that. Hey, Cinema Dave, in terms of commentaries, I think Martin Scorsese does excellent ones. He's very erudite and articulate in the ones that he lends his voice to. Here's a question for you. What is a movie that a lot of people dislike or can't stand that you like, and what film or films are guilty pleasures for you? Thanks for sharing your thoughts. Now, I will say that I don't really necessarily agree to the concept of the guilty pleasure. If I like a film, I like a film, and that's the way I feel it should be. So I'm not really upset with any film that I decide to like or to watch. But I will say that one of the films that I recently watched that I review or that I regularly watch is, well, I watch a lot of comedies, first thing, but I was watching this film. I've seen this film many, many times. I Love You, Man, Paul Rudd film, Jason Segel, really, really funny movie. These types of films and films like Step Brothers, which I've talked about on the channel before as well, I'm a big fan of. I don't know that there's necessarily a lot of love for these movies, but I really like them. It gives me a laugh once in a while, and I regularly put these on, especially if I can't find anything else to watch, or maybe I've watched a lot of serious movies and I need something funny. I'm going to go to a film like this. Great question, though. The next one is from Timothy Raths. Hi, Dave. Here's a question I hope you can answer in your next Q&A. Is there a movie or movies you thought were great but were too difficult to watch a second time because they were too intense? Now, there's quite a few of these types of movies, and I generally save some time for movies that I feel like are going to be very intense. And one of them is, I've talked about on my channel before, is this movie from the Criterion Collection, Shoah, which happens to be about the Holocaust. And this is a 9-hour film. It's an amazing movie, and it should be seen for sure. This happens to be spine number 663, but it is a very intense movie to watch. And I remember watching this one over a series of about a week or two, just a few hours at a time. And again, I highly recommend this movie, but if I were to watch this movie again, I would take some time with it. The subject matter is very intense, as you might imagine, with the Holocaust. And so, it takes me time to really go back to these types of films. I recently watched it, so I probably wouldn't revisit it again, maybe for, at least a couple of years, probably. And the other one along those lines is a movie that I've seen before. I saw this in the theater, and I've seen it on home video as well. Schindler's List. This is the DVD version, first ever time on DVD apparently, but I don't have the Blu-ray for this one. It's a brilliant film from Steven Spielberg, really well done, but it is also about the Holocaust, very intense. I would have to really think about when I would like to see this movie again, because it's very emotional and the subject matter, again, is very intense. So those are two films I can think of. There are certainly others that I would maybe take some time with. There's some Bergman films as well that I would really want to wait potentially to revisit again. But that's a great question. And there's many of those types of films, but those are two. The next question comes from Happy Fenton. A little-known film people don't know about is Joan Crawford in Autumn Leaves. I definitely recommend that. Sunday in New York is also a cute flick with an early performance from Jane Fonda, who I'm a big fan of as well. My favorite actor of all time, though, would have to be James Stewart or Jimmy Stewart. I'm curious to know, what is your favorite James Stewart performance? Is your favorite performance by him different from your favorite film starring him, or is it one and the same? My favorite performance by him is Anatomy of a Murder, and my favorite film, though cliche, starring him is It's a Wonderful Life. Anxious to know your thoughts. Thanks so much for the amazing content on your channel. Thanks for that comment and the kind words. I really appreciate it. I'm going to agree with you on that one and say It's a Wonderful Life. I think this is one of his best performances. I think he said it's his favorite film that he's done. It's an amazing film. I watch this film every year, maybe twice a year. I really love this film. I've bought it so many times, and Jimmy Stewart is an amazing actor. I like him in Rear Window as well. That's probably another favorite performance, but if I were to say this is the film for Jimmy Stewart, this is the one I would go to. But he's such an amazing actor. He's done so many other films as well. There's a lot of other films with Jimmy Stewart that are great. Rear Window is one of them. So that's a great question. The next one is from Dan Withrow. Thanks for answering. Question from May. Do you listen to any movie soundtracks? I have a few that I love to listen to while driving, like The Grand Budapest Hotel and The Assassination of Jesse James by Coward Robert Ford. Thanks. I do have a few of those, and One of the ones in fact, I was just listening to a music video this morning is the Blues Brothers. I'm a huge fan of the Blues Brothers and the blues in general, and this happens to be one of my favorite movies. I think the Blues Brothers do some great records as well, but this movie I really love. This is another one I bought a lot, and I have a steelbook of also. One of my favorite movies that I've seen in the theater, as well as home video, DVD, Blu-ray, etc. Great music in here, and I'd say I probably listened to that one the most, but one of the other ones I recently picked up is this one. It's an Arrow video of the movie FM, which has a lot of music from the 70s, which I absolutely love. And so there's the back of that one. But there's a lot of things that I listen to. Obviously, music is integral to the, to movies and shows. And I have to say, too, if I really like a TV show, like Twin Peaks as an example, Twin Peaks Season 3, I love the music in that. There's a musical performance typically at the end of a few of the episodes. I'm also a big fan of a show called High Maintenance, which is on HBO, and I regularly listen to playlists from that show as well. Lots of new music, but lots of older music as well. So I'm a big fan of music. I love Spotify as well. So thanks for that question. Really, really good question. From Andreas, hi Dave, thanks for the answer last time. My question for the next Q&A is, do you have a movie that you think is overlooked and needs more love that you could recommend? One of the ones I may have talked about a little bit on the channel is this one that I saw this year. It's called An Elephant Sitting Still. I think you can get it on Blu-ray on Amazon. That's where I picked it up. This is a 4-hour movie, but it's an amazing film, very contemplative, very meditative, variety of subject matters here, but I really love this film, and it's one that I saw this year that I thought I'm going to have to watch this over and over again for sure. This one has some extra features on it as well. A short Man in the Well, a short film by Hu Bo, the director of the movie, and then those are the extra features. I guess there's an interview here as well, and then there's An Elephant Sitting Still, the short story by Hu Bo as well. This is an amazing film if you get a chance to pick it up and watch it. I really love it. Great question. And finally, there's kind of a longer comment that I'm not going to read here, but I'm going to answer the question that's in here. From Sardis, I always enjoy hearing your perspectives. I thought I would leave you with some of my questions. I think there's just one question here that I could see anyway. How do you space watching a film without the commentary and with it? I find it hard to rewatch a film with short intervals in between. I know you spend time with individual directors, which I do quite often, which is a great thing to do too, especially if you're interested in a specific director. I try to watch as many of the films by that director as I can, maybe collect those with directors like Robert Altman as an example, Mike Nichols, Steven Spielberg. Sometimes if I really enjoy a film, I will watch the film again with the commentary, and I might not even take a pause in between viewing that film. And one of the films I've talked about on the channel before is John Carpenter's Halloween, which I've seen many, many times. And there's a specific commentary on the 35th anniversary of the film that I particularly love because it has great rapport between John Carpenter and the star Jamie Lee Curtis. So in that case, I might watch the film and I might listen to the commentary right afterwards. But it all really depends on my mood, which I feel like is true for film watching in general. If I'm really interested in a film at the time, I might put it on again and listen to scene commentary. I might listen to the whole commentary. Or if it's a film I've seen over and over again, I might watch the film and then maybe the next time I view it, I'll watch it with a commentary. So lots of options there, all up to what you really enjoy about it. But that's a great question. Thanks so much for all these great questions and comments. I really do appreciate it. If you'd like to leave a question for me for the next video, leave it in the comments section below, and I will be doing another Q&A video in June. Thanks everyone for watching and commenting and leaving questions. I really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe. That would be great. And I sincerely hope that everyone is safe and well, and I'll talk to you soon.